Hey everyone, it's Lacey. Welcome back to Paws and Paper. So I'm still working on my Christmas journal here. And so today I was going to make some of these great big tags. What I was thinking, this is my tag here. And what I wanted to do, I was thinking since I have 5 signatures here, I want to make a great big tag. And I want that to go on my front of every signature in a pocket, just like in the front. So I'm going to make the tags today. So I'm going to make 5 of them. So I'm just going to kind of do assembly line here. They're all going to be similar. So let me see here. What I'm going to do is make, and these are going to be fabric covered tags. So what I want to do first is get these all covered in my fabric. So I'm going to just, I'm just going to use glue stick because I am going to sew around each of these. So let's just, I don't need to go super crazy because I am going to sew them. This is just to get my fabric tucked or down. So I'm going to use this. This is really nice upholstery fabric. And I thought it would go good with, since these signatures are so colorful like this, just a neutral color that I think it would go good because I'm going to put pictures and all that stuff on here. So let's turn this over. So this is the wrong side of my fabric. And I'm just going to glue this down. And I'm going to end up, after I sew it, I'm going to cut all the way around. So I'm not worried about, and that's what my tag will look like on the front. I'm not worried about what it's going to look like on the, I'm not going to fold it over the edges or anything. So that's good there. So I'm going to get the rest of these just quickly glued down. So if you see one, you've seen it all. But that's what I'm going to do here is just find the wrong side. I don't think this has a pattern that is like right way, wrong way, upside down, you know. So I think I'm fine. And I'm not going to cut around it until I sew it. But let's get that down. Okay. So I kind of like the idea of having a cohesive centerpiece, if you will, on every signature, like the beginning of every signature. I think that'll look kind of nice to have something that ties it all together. Something that'll be similar on the front of every signature page. I think it'll look good. I hope everyone's getting in the holiday mood, enjoying the cooler weather if you get cooler weather. I'm sure some of you are already getting snow. I know my own kids are getting excited for Christmas break. That's all they care about. Like, when do we get off school? I mean, that's all they want to know. How long and how soon do we get out of school? Okay, guys, one more. And let's get this one down. Yeah, these I think I got the idea from these from Natasha at Treasure Books. Oh my gosh, guys, if you want to see somebody who has like an eye for detail, her detail is like impeccable. Seriously. Like, I don't know if she can see it in her head or if she's just done it so long that she can, you know, think the process through. But she thinks about how things should be layered and how things should go before she even does them. And they just turn out phenomenal. So the original idea for this is from her book, Natasha at Treasure Books. So you should go check her out. Now I am just going to go and I'm going to sew around each one of these. And I'm going to sew it this side up. just in case you want to know, I'm going to sew it this side up and I'm going to sew all the way around, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am back, and I had just gone around and done a straight stitch, and you want to get as close to the edge as you possibly can, and just go all the way around. So now this is what the back side looks like. You can barely see that white thread on there, which is kind of cool because it really just blends in. So now what I'm going to do is grab my fabric scissors. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and trim around the edges of all these as close as I can. And this fabric will fray some, so that'll give you the cool look, you know, the frayed look. It'll do it naturally. So you're going to want to maybe, you know, if you want to choose a fabric that you know that will fray. And that's also why you want to get as close to the edge as possible, because you don't want your fabric lifting up. Otherwise you're going to see what's underneath it there. So here I've just used the plain file folders, but if you use like a cereal box or anything that has like a picture on it as their backing, you're going to want to make sure then that it's covered, because if it would peel back a little bit, you're not going to want to see, you know, your Cheerios box underneath of there. So I'm going to go ahead and, just for time's sake again, I'm going to pause you guys. I'm going to cut all around these, and I will be right back. Okay, so now these have all been cut around and they're looking good. So they're all trimmed and ready to go. So here's all of my 5 tags. So now what I want to do is put a little book page at the bottom of each of these. So I want a lot of text. And I want just the torn look. And I'm going to just kind of make it angled a little bit. So what I'm going to end up doing is like this here. And this is going to get sewn on then also. So I want to kind of, and I'm going to wrap this around the back so that the bottom of my book page here wraps around my tag. And this is what Natasha did, because she wrapped it around that way the cut edge wouldn't get caught if you're tucking your tag in and out. So I'm going to mark just down a little further, and we're going to, the sides don't matter as much. It was just the bottom that she kind of wanted tucked. And I'm going to ink the top of my page here because I want to emphasize my tear. So I want that to be emphasized, and I'm going to kind of judge how far, and then I'm going to end up doing this, and I'm going to cut off my sides then, but that looks good there. So this again, I'm just going to do a light glue because I am going to sew it, and that's what's going to hold it down just for the moment. I really don't care if it holds it there permanently, because I am going to make it permanent with the sewing. Okay, so then I'm going to glue that there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just trim my sides off here now, and I'll have to verify that all my book page is far enough over after I sew. Okay, so there is that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew this one, and I'll be back to show you what this one looks like sewn. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put book pages on the rest of these, and then we'll move on to our next step. So this is a very multi-step tag here, but it turns out really good in the end, I promise. So I will be right back again. Okay, so here's what it looks like when it's all sewn. and I just started here, so it's straight around, and then I followed the zigzag or crookedness of my tear here, and then ended all the way at the end. So I want to go ahead, and then I'm going to ink up the rest of it here now that it's all sewn, and you're going to want to check your edges to make sure your paper is not overhanging too much. I want to get that bottom. So now this is what she was talking about. So now you have kind of like a sealed bottom here, so that when you're tucking your page in and out, it doesn't get, fray on you. If you're using really old book pages though, they may tear, so you might just want to watch that. Okay, so there's that, and I'm just gonna do a gentle all over inking of the book page. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and now I'm going to go ahead and catch all the other ones of my tags up, and I'll be right back to show you that. Okay, so I am back, and here we are. We have all of them caught up to the same stage, which is having the book page sewn and inked all around, and we folded the bottom so that we got that nice edge. Okay, so now we're to the point of I want to add like one focal point to each one of these, and I already have my images inked and sewn around. So I chose just a really pretty image that I'm going to offset just a little bit to the left on each card here. So these are just beautiful pictures that I think will go very well with this journal. So I'm just going to offset one. Isn't that cute? I love the St. Bernard and the little girl. Off to the one side, and this last one here of every tag. So I've already sewn these. If you do watch Natasha's video, she goes ahead and she sews the pictures on like we did the book page. The only problem I found is when I did that, and this could just be solved by, I'm going to back these with some coffee dyed paper, and when you actually put the coffee dyed paper on there and glue it down, you can kind of see the threading seam underneath, which I don't think it's going to stop you from writing on it. But when I went and did this whole thing, then there's this seam, there's these seams, and I just didn't really like it, so I'm going to sew them and just glue them on so that I don't have so many seams on the back. All right, so I'm going to really just use my Fabrifix, and I am going to glue these down very securely so that they will go nowhere. So, I mean, you can do it either way. If you want to sew them directly onto your card, go ahead. You would just need to use then, I think, like a thicker backing to back your cards with so that you can actually use them to write on. But like I said, I'm just going to be using regular copy paper that's been coffee dyed and printed on. So I am going to try to limit the number of stitches that I see on the back by making sure I just sew my pieces first. Okay, so I'm going to have to make sure these are really glued down nice and good. And I think this is going to make a real pretty interesting focal piece for every signature that I have in this current journal. Okay, so just keep pressing them down. All right, looks good there. Let's get these two. And these are a lot of these are all images that I had, most of them are images that I had put in my Christmas digital kit, or I think this one came from one of them I did. I'm not sure. I lose track. But most of these are ones that are mine. Okay, and this is the last one. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure they're really glued down. Now make sure you leave some room at the top, because I am going to put a little topper up there. So I think I have plenty of room there. Okay, so now can you see what I've got so far here? They look good. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this little I don't know, what do you call this? Just a little tag embellishment. I've got different little ones here, and these did come from the Pink Monarch prints. So I was going to put one of these just right in the right hand corner of each one of these cards. That one maybe. Do I have it like that or that? I guess that doesn't matter. I like that. Okay, so again, these I didn't sew around because they do have that like multi-black border on there already. So I thought it looked like it was already sewn. So I am not going to sew around these, and I'm just going to use that as kind of like my cover of the threads for the card here. So I'm just, all my threads are in that corner. So I'm just going to glue this over those threads. And you could definitely, you know, put some lace or anything else behind these. Whatever you choose. Layer these up in a lot of different ways. I just kind of, I think I enjoy the simplicity of these. Just not real frilly, but very pretty and nice to look at. Okay, so there's those, and try to stay in frame here for you. We are almost done, and the last thing I'm going to do as soon as I get this one glued down is put some, like a vintage lace. I have some really pretty vintage lace. That's going to be my tag topper. And I think that makes it look real pretty. All said and done. Okay. And you can definitely, you can make your book page go up any amount you want. You can tell mine are all kind of random. So whatever you like. I do like when it sticks out the top of the tag. Like this one here didn't quite make it all the way out, but that's okay. I think it just looks really nice when you can see the book page underneath of it. Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to do here is, this is the lace that I want to use to make my topper. And you don't need a ton, and all I'm going to do is use my crocodile here. And I'm going to just go to the, see the big guy, the 3/16 hole. I'm not going to put an eyelet in these because it's going to make it way too small. But I am going to see, and I don't want to punch the card, so I want to stay below the card, but right on the fabric, and then I need to go kind of center. So I'm trying to do this with the camera and with trying to be able to see myself. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so there's that, and then this, you might need, watch out, Leo. Jeez, you gotta move, I can't get in my drawers. Ugh, Leo, he's not moving. Okay, hang on. How come you're not moving? You're in front of my drawer. See this drawer right here? I need to get in there. Can you move? Come on. Leo, move. I need to get. Leo. Hey, why aren't you moving? Poopsie, I need to get in there. You're like, but Mom, I'm sitting right here. I'll let you outside in a minute. Can you move, please? Come on. Come on. Oh, thank you. You're such a good boy. I know. See, I was going to get in here. I don't even need I'm sorry, Leo. I wanted to get in here. This is the little tool I'm getting. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, well, we're going to go back, people. Okay, hang on. And you're up and you're moving and you're flying and you're probably dizzy. Okay, there we go. All that, and I didn't even need to move them. I'm sorry, Poopsie. Okay, I was trying to get my little pokey tool here because my lace here is a little bit big, and to get it through, how do I want to do this? I want to do that, like, you know what I'm talking about, that loopy knot where you just do one of these numbers and you thread it through. Okay, let's just, how much do I want? Is that going to be too much? I don't think so. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think and process this at the same time. I want to get this in here. So I'm trying to poke it through, and it will go through. I promise. Okay. So then I want to do that whole, it's not what I want to do. You could tie it, but that's that. Oh, I know what I need to do. Okay. I want to do the folded in half, this like this, and now I need to get this whole thing in there. I probably lost everybody by now. They're like, what are you trying to do? Do I want to go this way? Oh, is it going to matter? Okay, so pull this through. And it's not going to tear as much, you know, you think it's going to rip, but it's not, because that upholstery fabric that I have on here is very sturdy. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so this is what I was attempting to do, okay? You know, like the loopy thing, and then you want to pull it through like this. That's what I was trying to do, okay? So I don't know if I can explain that very well. I think I totally lost everybody on that one. Okay, so now this is just a little bit of fussing because the hole is pretty small. The lace is pretty thick, but I want to get it. If you fuss, I mean, and by all means, you can definitely use something a little smaller, but I think that looks really cool. And then that will just kind of fray out a little bit, you know, and then you got your pretty tag all done. I mean, look at that. Isn't that so cute? And then, oh crap, I didn't want to do that. Oh gosh, okay, redo. All that fussing. I need to back these first. Oh jeez, oh, whatever. Okay, so I want to back these in my coffee dyed paper, and let's just do, I want to do the green. You can still write on that, right? Okay, glue stick. Come back here, Mr. Glue Stick. I'm sorry, I'm losing it. I think I need to take a break. I can't remember what I'm doing. I wanted to glue this on, and then I wanted to sew the back. I was so excited for the lace, I couldn't hardly handle it. Okay, so let's get this backed, and I will back all the other ones too. I promise. Okay, so now, got that backed. Now let's get this trimmed. You know, you get so excited for one step, you lose focus of all the others. Okay, and just whatever you do, don't cut your tag underneath or anything from the bottom's layers that you don't want to cut off. And almost done here. Okay. I'm not too worried about this because, you know, it's just paper. We'll poke right through that. Okay, so now what I did want to do yet, I am going to ink this up. And that's going to help cover any of my raw edges, just in case you can see that the manila folder underneath. That's why I said if you do use like a cereal box or something with print on it, you're going to want to make sure you try to sew as close as possible, because you don't want that, you're not going to probably want to see your cereal box logo stuff come out from underneath, if it would fold back any. Okay. All right, now I will end up doing this with all of them, and I do want to, I'm going to take this back to the sewing machine, and I'm going to use it this way, and I'm going to sew around it again as close to the edge, and it should overlap my same stitching there, so I'll be right back. Okay, so there I have gone ahead and I've sewn around the back side of this, so you can see when you flip it over, you can hardly tell that I've sewn around it twice, because my threading is almost overlapping the same one there. Okay, So super, super simple. Now we can go ahead and put our lace back in the top. And we'll try this again. So now I want to push this through here. And I'm just not using an eyelet. You totally could, I guess. I think it's going to make it a lot harder to get through, especially if you use something thick. Like this is pretty thick lace. But if you use some thicker fabric, it's not going to tear your fabric. It's going to tear your paper on the back, obviously, a little bit, but it's not going to go any further than the hole you've made, because your fabric is going to keep it from tearing. So now I'm just going to fuss with this for a minute to try to get it tight. And I want my knot to kind of be, see how I have covered up every bit of that hole there. You can't tell there's a hole there at all. And there's my finished journaling card. So this one here, you can see, I don't know if you can see the stitching. That's why I didn't stitch around this too, because then you would see that whole thing there. It's definitely not going to keep you from stopping right to write on this, but you do kind of see that, the ridge there. So I just didn't like that around this whole thing. You could totally do it that way, would work. So now here's what it's going to look like. It's going to go on my page here, and I'm going to make a pocket of some kind. And these will get tucked onto every one of my signatures. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm going to keep on trucking with my Christmas journal. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!